everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is India and today we are going to be doing our November reading wrap up. I'm excited to do this, but I just forgot my notebook. Let me grab my notebook real quick. So, woo, I got my notebook. Still using my Dream Like Crazy notebook. Bloop, 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 bloop. Yeah, as soon as I start recording, of course, here comes freaking lawn people. Thank you, whatever they are. I'm annoyed now because guess what? This is the time that I have to record. So hopefully it won't be too bad in the background. I'll try and overlay some music on top. But anyway, November wrap up. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification button down below so you never miss anything. So, in November, I read 4 books. 4 books in November. Which, I mean, I'm not gonna say I had a bad reading month. I mean, I kind of had a bad reading month, but I barely read in November. Like, it took me like a week and a half to finish my first book, and then I finished like 2 books in one day because one was an audiobook and then one was a physical book, and then it took me like another 2 weeks to finish 2 more books. Like, I just wasn't reading because I just been doing other things with my life. Yeah, so I just didn't get to much reading. Anyway, so one of the books that I read for nonfiction November, the only book I read for nonfic November, was Over the Top, A Raw Journey to Self-Love by Jonathan Van Ness, and I gave this 5 stars. I listened to this on audiobook, and it's narrated by Jonathan Van Ness, and I loved listening to it on Audible because it was just so interesting to hear Jonathan Van Ness's story and how every single moment in his life just like made him the person he is now, which is such an amazing outspoken individual. But yeah, like just listening to Jonathan Van Ness tell his story was just emotionally powerful, and some of the things he says are just very uplifting during his story. And y'all, Jonathan Van Ness has been through some shit. He has done some things, seen some things, and he has made it out on the other side and has put himself in a position to help those around him and spread joy and love and care and self-care. And it was just such a great story. I'm gonna try and hopefully read the rest of the Fab 5 stories, but I don't know how any of the rest of them are gonna top his story. I don't know. It was so good. I enjoyed it a lot. Not necessarily the next book in chronological order that I read was Mastering Her Curves by Piper Sullivan. I gave this 2 stars. I didn't enjoy it very much. There wasn't enough angst or anything like that. It just wasn't enough. So yeah, it just wasn't enough. And then it all just seemed to kind of tie up in like a cute little bow all of a sudden. It just seemed to just like tie everything up. But anyway, this story follows Nate Callahan, who works for search and rescue in this small town, and it also follows Mickey Russo, who just moved here, leaving family drama behind, just moved here to this very small town to try and start her own life on her own terms and things like that. They end up meeting for the first time at a charity event where Nate Callahan is in a kissing booth, and so she ends up paying for her first kiss, and basically that first kiss changes everything for them, and the rest is essentially history. They end up having a one-night fling, and basically he sneaks out in the middle of the night, and this all leads down to a plethora of miscommunication, trying to assume what the other person wants emotionally, and it's all just, it's kind of annoying. It was just kind of annoying. It just wasn't that great to me. There was angst of like the wrong kind of just like, you guys are just annoying, like stop. versus that like sexual tension angst. It's not even like, you can't even call them enemies to lovers because they didn't establish enough time to be enemies. They're not friends, so like, I don't know. That's why it's 2 stars, and I rarely give out 2-star reviews. Like, but it just wasn't good. Next up was This Christmas Holiday Hunk number 2 by Sarah Spade. I gave this one 4 stars. If you remember last month, I read Halloween Boo by Sarah Spade, which is the Halloween Hunk number 1. I gave this one 4 stars, comparatively to that 3 stars, but I am now wondering if I had read this one first, would I have given it 3 stars, versus I was now prepared for the type of story that I was about to be reading, and so that is why it garnered more stars this time. I don't know, you know, I don't know. I couldn't answer that honestly. But basically this one follows Allison. Allison was the other girls from the last book's best friend and co-worker. So this still takes place in Salem. Allison ends up in a bar on Christmas Eve after dealing with her family for Christmas Eve. She's like, I need a drink, or I need to be not where I'm at right now. So she goes to the bar because she doesn't drink alcohol, which she says like 20,000 times. But she goes to the bar, and then at the bar she basically meets Max, who is also at the bar because he got snowed in Salem. He got snowed in Salem on a business trip when he really lives out in LA. And they end up meeting at the bar, talking, dancing, and then end up having a one-night stand. From there, Max sneaks out in the middle of the night. His was an unintentional sneak out. His was he got a phone call early in the morning with emergency SOS, we need you back at the office now, and without thinking, because he's a workaholic, he just kind of ran out, didn't leave a note, didn't leave a message or anything like that. And then on top of that, during this one night stand, both of them used fake names for this one night stand, so there was no way to search or look for the other. So basically Allison gets her feelings hurt because this is like her first one night stand, and so she gets her feelings hurt, and decides to swear off men or whatever, but can't stop thinking about Max for the entire year. And so then we get into the current present day Christmas, and wouldn't you know it, they have more mutuals than they thought. So this one was cute, it was fun, it was Christmassy. A certain special someone does make an appearance, which I thought was a really cute touch for this holiday one. It made it even more holiday-y, if that's a word. And there was some angst. They're really short, so there was like enough angst for the amount of time the book allowed. So that was good, and it was just really cute and holiday, and going with my holiday spirit mood. Of course, Bree over at Bree Hill is the best holiday book recommender, so if you're looking for more holiday recs, go to her channel because that's where I get mine from. And so then finally, for my final book that I read in November, it was Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which I actually have this physical one. It was Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which was my November book of the month pick. I am a Book of the Month YA affiliate, and so I have a code down below for Book of the Month YA. This is Book of the Month Adult, but they are using currently, right now at this moment, which is subject to change. Well, you know what, forget it. I'll just put it down below, what coupon code and what the coupon is now, down below in this video. But anyway, Get a Life, Chloe Brown follows, obviously, Chloe Brown. Chloe Brown, this has disability rep in it and has invisible disability rep in it. So this follows Chloe Brown, who has chronic pain and fibromyalgia. And it follows her, and basically after a near-death experience where she almost got ran over by a car, when her life flashed before her eyes, she felt like she had not accomplished anything in her life but being safe. So now she has set up a list. She is a master of lists, and uses them for everything, especially with her chronic pain and fibromyalgia. It helps her to remember what tasks she has to do when her really, really, really bad days happen. But so she makes a list of 7 things she would like to do to make her feel like she has a life, and one of those was to move out from her home with her parents and her grandmother Gigi, who is awesome and filled with wisdom and just kind of awesome. And in her building we meet Red, who is the superintendent. I don't even know why I'm talking this much, like I'm not gonna do a whole 2-minute book review on it. I'm giving you one right now. So who meets Red, who is the maintenance person, and not literally superintendent, but like the maintenance supervisor person of the building, and from the get-go they hate each other. And then it kind of unfolds from there. Because I am going to do a 2-minute book review, I'm going to leave it at that. But I love this book, guys. Like, I love this book. Like, look at me, I'm just gonna pet it. I love it so much. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I have given 5-star reads this year. I have, and that's why in 2020 I'm going to change my grading scale. But this was such a 5-star read for me. Like, yo, I loved it so much. I love the interracial couple in it. So I kind of saw myself in it. I mean, I feel like I have a life, and I also don't have chronic pain and fibromyalgia. But I kind of saw myself in it, in the fact that when Eric and I got together in the very beginning of our relationship, and still throughout, we would pick things for each other that would make each other uncomfortable. Especially growing up differently, those were very different experiences for us. And so by having each other, we were also able to find more about ourselves, and I feel like Chloe and Red do that in tandem for each other. Red is an artist. You know what, I keep saying I'm not going to talk about it more, but Red is an artist and he is in a slump right now, and Chloe helps him build this up. So like I said, I'll talk more about it, but I loved it, guys. It is so good. It is so good. It is, with the tone of the book, it is the right amount of romance, or the right amount of like sexy time, and it has a great build up. But then also, like, I laughed, I cried, I giggled, I felt so many things in this book. So it's just so good. So yeah, I'm gonna stop now. Thanks, Talia Hibbert. But anyway, that is it for my November wrap up, y'all. That is it. That is it. Like I said, it was only 4 books, so nice and short. Nice and short. I would definitely pick up this one and Over the Top by Jonathan Van Ness if you haven't read it. That is it for me, y'all. Look out for 2-minute book reviews coming up. And don't forget to follow me on all those social medias where you would have seen me gush and talk about this book already. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and hit that bell notification button so you never miss anything. And until next time, keep turning the pages.